3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Happy Monday, start of the week. You got the first day out of 5 under your belt. Now you can sit back, relax with the Dennis and Andy show. I'm Andy.
I'm Dennis. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on this fantastic Monday, everybody.
And of course, I had to hear a little whining from Dennis before the show backstage because boo-hoo, he almost got a paper cut today. Because I had him doing a little manual labor over here. Wah, Dennis. Those hands are made for work. They're made for working.
Well, tell them what we were working on, Andy. They might sympathize.
I got my first man books in for my Indiegogo campaign on Saturday. So I got right to it over the weekend, signing them because I'm signing all the books for everyone. And then after signing, I was doing that today still. And Dennis came over and was nice enough to bag and board the books for me and throw in all the little goodies in the backside, the bookmark, the trading card, and the magnet. And there's a special goodie I'm putting in that I'm not telling anybody. They'll just see it when they get it.
I got a couple of hundred done, so hey, that's not bad for an afternoon.
It's not bad for an old guy like you.
I know, right? So say, Andy, we got a special guest tonight.
We do.
Is he available?
He is available. We are proud to welcome to the show creator Patrick Thomas Parnell. My God, I swear to God, I haven't done one show where I've introduced the person and not fucked up the name somehow.
and I'm not available. I am married, so.
Okay, well, he's unavailable.
I mean, I'm here, but I'm unavailable.
That's right. How's it going, brother?
It's going pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Dennis, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you. Can't wait for this interview.
This is the Patrick Show, so anything you want to talk about, obviously, Ultra Star. Actually, we can start with that. I know I signed up to it with the email on Indiegogo. When are you actually launching it?
The Ultra Star campaign?
Yeah.
I believe I'm going to do that on Good Friday.
Oh. And that's
so it's the Friday right before Easter. I'm going to launch it somewhere, either on my channel or someone else's.
Yeah.
Like right now, like we have the mailing list going up, and it's going pretty well so far. We're about at like 500 or 600 people signed up.
Dude, that's awesome.
Things are going well. So I brought some artwork to show off, and we can check
beautiful.
it out. Or
now I'm as an Indiegogo newbie that I am.
Mm-hmm.
What is your experience like? When did you put up that sign up list? How far out before launch? Because this is all stuff I need to start thinking about for my second one.
So I have two things that I work on. You probably know, Andy, but I work on Johnny Phantasm,
Mm-hmm.
and then now I'm doing Ultra Star. Ultra Star is a book that I did about 10 years ago, right when I graduated from the Kubert School.
Nice.
And I revamped it, adding more to the story, all new artwork. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be bouncing around from doing Johnny Phantasm and Ultra Star. So what happened was, like, about halfway through the Johnny Phantasm 1985 and action figure campaign,
Mm-hmm.
I put up the signing list for the Ultra Star. So it's like I always kind of want to have something in motion while I have something kind of waiting in the wings,
Yeah.
And then, so as soon as I close one thing, I can kind of amp up the other thing and then launch that. And then, halfway through Ultra Star, I'm going to put up the signing list for the next Johnny Phantasm.
Cool.
So that way I can kind of keep the machine going, keep it at a nice pace, and just kind of, produce, like, I'm trying to produce 4 to 5 books a year. We'll see if that happens.
That was my next question, is what your target was a year. So
so far this year we did 19 Johnny Phantasm 1997. It was about almost a year ago. It was not quite even a year yet. We did 3 issues of that. That was one campaign altogether. And then we did 1985 after that, which I'm fulfilling right now. And then we did a short story that came along with the action figure, which was the Scarlet Heart 1989. So that's my third. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books right there that I've done so far this year. I just have to get them out to people now. And then hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have Johnny Fantastic 1993 done. So that'll actually be like 5 or 6 books this year. So I'm trying to do a lot of books right now, Andy. That's the answer to the question.
Well, you're younger than me, so.
well, like I have a lot of catching up to do. Like out of school, I got into the illustration game. I worked for, Wizards of the Coast and the New York Times, and I worked as an illustrator, but I didn't really jump in there as a comic book illustrator. Right. I would do covers and pinups here and there, but I never had an opportunity to kind of really jam on something.
So when did you attend the Kubert School? What years? Because I know it was, obviously after me, because I went 88 to 91.
Okay. I finished in 2004.
Oh, wow. So 2001 to 4, I guess, fall of 2001. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it was kind of mixed up because I was actually there when 9/11 happened, and then I was bouncing back and forth between 2 art schools at that time. I was going to Ringling down in Florida as well, but then I was also going to the Kubert School like 1 year. I kind of go back and forth.
Oh, wow.
So I actually got my degree or whatever from the Kubert School, and I got my degree from Ringling as well. But yeah, that was 2004 when I graduated the Kubert School, which seems like forever ago, but maybe it was. I guess it was 25 years ago. 20 years ago.
2004?
Yeah.
No, 2004 was only 17 years ago, right?
Only. Okay, good.
Yeah. Dude, I literally, this year is my 30th anniversary. So
that's crazy.
You got a ways to go.
So, Patrick, I always like to, for creators that I haven't met yet, kind of like to find out the origin. So obviously you went to the Kubert School. How'd you break into comics? And I heard Wizard of the Coast. So you're talking to a D&D guy from basically 1986 here. So you kind of piqued my interest.
Oh, right on. Well, yeah. So when I was like looking for work when I got out of the Kubert School, and this is when I was actually going to Ringling at the same time, I was looking for illustration work. And, one of the first gigs that I got was doing illustrations for D&D. I was working on the strategy guides. And I was doing illustrations for their website as well. And then I also worked on a project called Gamma World, which is basically it's like D&D, but in the future. It's a property that was around in the early 80s, and then Wizards of the Coast bought it, and then they revamped it. So I worked on that for a little while. And then when I started doing that is actually when I became a college instructor, and I was actually a college instructor for like 11 years.
Oh, really?
I taught at Ringling for a while. I taught computer illustration cool. And drawing to computer animators. I did that for about 8 years. And then I was working at a state college up until this past semester when I decided to kind of just devote everything to comic books and toys and just web stuff. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing so many books is because I'm not teaching anymore, and I've kind of relied on my teaching paycheck for actually a very, very long time. So I had to kind of line up enough work to kind of make me sleep at night, So now I have, things are going well. Things in Comicsgate are going well. Yeah. And everyone is networking and really making some. I think everyone's having some success. And the more that the mainstream comic book industry collapses, we can kind of siphon those people out because people still want to read comic books. People still want comics. They just don't want those comics. So it's awesome. Like every time I see a bad Wonder Woman book or a bad Batman book or a stupid idea, I celebrate it because I just know that there's customers leaving and they're coming my way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Was that Wizards of the Coast stuff? Was that black and white or color? That's just the artist in me. I'm just curious.
What thing?
The Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, it's full
artwork?
color. Yeah,
Was it? Okay.
I'm a full color guy.
Okay.
I'm kind of weird like that. Like I like, that's one of the reasons why I like comic books, is because opposed to video games or movies, is because it can be all me, you know?
Right.
So it's nice to be able to have something from start to finish, you know?
Right.
I definitely give props to people that work in movies and games, but there's such a small a clog in a big machine. It's hard to kind of really get too excited about it, you know?
Right. Well, I assumed with Johnny Phantasm and Ultrastar, you were doing the whole ball of wax, and I even assume are you doing the lettering as well?
Well, actually, so I co-created and co-write Johnny Phantasm with a friend of mine named Evan Posios, who he's a Greek lawyer from Detroit, and so he actually co-writes Johnny Phantasm with me. But yes, I did letter the first Johnny Phantasm. 1985, we actually splurged, and I actually hired someone to do it for me.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, normally, like if I had time, I would letter it myself. But like I said, like I have more books I want to do, and I don't want to kind of waste time lettering. I hate saying it like that, because I know there's people there that just do lettering. But
honestly, I don't think saying it like that's bad, because like I can letter okay in Illustrator, but I don't know all the bells and whistles like a professional does. So, my buddy Steve Dutro, who letters my stuff, we went to the Kubert School together. We lived in the Clinton house in first year. We both went all 3 years, and he was a hell of a cartoonist, hell of a sense of humor. But when he graduated, his first gig was as a letterer, and he stuck with it.
Yeah.
So for him it was different than guys now, because he hand lettered for 10 years or so, and then created a font. Now everything he does is digital lettering. But you know what? He's great at it. He's a hell of a lot better than me. And if I can, I'd honestly, two things. I'd rather kick him the work, and kind of like you said, I've got other things I can do that are more worth my time than letter. And it's the same with coloring. I can color my stuff, but it just takes me forever compared to a guy that does it all the time.
Yeah. Well, I actually hire someone to do my flats now, and then I go in and just do the shading and the highlights. But I don't feel bad for letterists at all. Like, I think the most successful guy that I went to school with at the Kubert School, his name is Jared Fletcher. He's I
don't know him, but I know the name.
He's lettered like everything, know. He's so it's like I don't feel bad for letterists, because graphic designers actually make more money than illustrators do. So
sure. Well, it's like you said with coloring, and you hired somebody out to do the flats, which of course speeds you up. Now, I've never tried that. I'd like to try it as an experiment, just to see the time difference if I get the page back flatted. Yeah. To see what I can do. But when I do, when I color my stuff, it's just such a chore, because of, I think, the flatting stage, that by the time I get to the color stage, the rendering stage, I'm just like, oh, that took forever.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like the flatting stage just kills me. It's just like, it's like pulling teeth. It's like you're basically just coloring, on the computer. You're not doing anything creative. So it's like, just hand it out to someone that just wants to color on the computer for either like the gal that I have do it. She is actually Italian. She lives in Italy.
Oh, cool.
And like, I think she just does it as like a pastime.
Right.
Like she doesn't really have any ambitions to be like a full-time like colors or anything like that. Like, she just kind of just like colors in the computer just to kind of like something to wind down at the end of the day, I think, Now,
do you have her, when she does the coloring or the flats, do you have her do it? So, just, I'm using a generic, well, I'll use First Man, for example. So First Man's chrome and yellow. So do you give her direction, like the characters need to have the base color that I need, or it's just flat it, because changing a color out from a flat takes no time?
I get her to go a little bit darker than what the local color and value would be, if that makes any sense. So
it makes total sense.
So I like to paint up.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
I want her. I get her to paint it everything a little bit darker than what the local color and value would be.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. That
Yeah.
makes total sense. That's cool. So I assume growing up, you were always into comics and stuff, or
Yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, like G.I. Joe and Transformers, that was my jam. Like
Nice.
that was it. Like I went down to the gas station down from my house on my bike, and that's where I would get all my G.I. Joe comics.
Yeah.
Captain America comics, Transformers. I was obsessed with like Thundercats and stuff like that. So, as I got older, I kind of always had in the back of my mind, that someone were drawing these things, and I thought maybe one day I can do it. And then when I got into high school, I was into skateboarding for a very long time, and then I got into playing music, and then I played in bands. I mean, almost my entire life.
Oh, sweet.
So in high school, I was actually in a band, and just for example, to show you how serious we were, instead of graduating high school, I went to Los Angeles to record with the same producer who recorded like Offspring and stuff like that.
No shit.
Yeah. So in my late teens and my early 20s, like I was traveling around and touring in a punk band and playing with like bands like Offspring, like AFI, Pennywise, bands like that. So I did that until I was on 21, and then when I was 21, that's when I went to the Kubert School. So it's like right out of high school. I kind of wanted to do art, and I got accepted. I got accepted. Like Mike Chen accepted me, but I was playing music and I wanted to do that for a little while. So I decided to do that, and then once that kind of ran out of steam, that's when I decided to go to school at the Kubert School.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. I've been all over the place.
Originally?
Like, what's that?
Are you from Florida originally?
No, I'm from New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm from New Jersey, but I live in Florida now.
Right. Got out of that cold weather. Well, did you live near the Kubert School in Jersey, or?
No. Well, my family was probably like an hour away from it. So, like,
Okay.
I in my history, there's a lot of. I was born in New Jersey, and then when I was young, I moved to Florida, and then I moved back to New Jersey, then I moved back to Florida, then I moved back to New Jersey. So I went back and forth quite a bit. So I've lived in a million different places in New Jersey, from like a lot of North Jersey. And then I lived in a couple of places in Florida, but yeah, I bounced back and forth between New Jersey and Florida quite a bit.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually think it messed up my allergies a lot, because I like just when my body would get used to like pollen in one state, then I'd move to another state, and then it would be like I would have the worst allergies, and now it's like my allergies are all messed up.
So at the Kubert School, first year, did you do the housing?
Yeah. I was living at the mansion.
Oh, nice.
I was living at the mansion. But what's that?
First or second floor?
Oh, I was at the very, very top in the attic, like that little attic room. Yeah. It was crazy, man. It was, I mean, if no one doesn't know, like at the Joe Kubert School, they have this building. I'm not sure if they own it anymore, to be honest, but it's called the Mansion, which was a historical kind of building, which was the original Kubert School. Mm-hmm. But when I went there, and I think when Andy went there, it was like one of the dorms.
Yep.
And it's like, you want to just talk about the weirdest thing is you get like 30 nerds and you put them all in like a house together, and you just see the weirdest shit happen. I remember when, like, this was right when Fight Club came out, is when I was at the Kubert School.
Oh,
so
no.
like, so somehow these nerds thought that we could start like a fight club. And so like every Friday, like in the living room at the mansion, we put all the couches aside, and the people would just fucking fight, like nerds, like fighting each other. And it was all fun and games until this dude, like we did at the Clinton house this one night, and this one guy got his leg like broken completely in half.
No way.
Yeah. Like we were having a barbecue and we were drinking in the back, and this one dude, I forget his name is Mike. He's a pretty popular comic book artist now. His name is Mike Huddleston.
Oh yeah, I know that name.
Yeah. He was wrestling this dude, and like I didn't even see the leg break. I just saw him go to stand up, and he was like standing up on like his nub, like halfway through his shin, and his leg was just like flat on the ground, and he was like standing on his nub, and we're like, dude, your leg's broke, and he's like, what? And I was like, because we were all drunk at the school. I'm like, we're out of here. I was like, good luck with that broken leg.
So when I went, the movie that came out that, I mean, over 3 years, I'm sure more memorable movies came out, but the one that sticks to my mind that spawned a couple things was The Doors, right?
Oh, yeah.
And there was a scene in The Doors where Val Kilmer...
Were you guys doing a bunch of acid at the Cuban school?
I wasn't, but some of my classmates were. There was other stuff going around that I you know. So this one dude, because in the Doors, Val Kilmer, like, I think he jumped off the second floor balcony or something at some point during the movie, as you know, Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
And there was a house. So the three houses for the living were the mansion, the carriage house, and the Clinton house.
Yeah.
When I went.
Uh-huh.
And that main road in front of the Cuban school, that was 46, wasn't it?
Yes.
Route 46, and you would take 46 up to the mansion, right? If I
yeah.
remember right.
Yeah, yeah. And you take a right.
And then on the right-hand side, before you got to it, there was this one house that was pretty big that wasn't officially school housing.
The
Joe
frat
didn't
house.
own it. Huh?
The frat house.
Yeah, the frat house.
I live there too.
Okay, so Joe didn't own it.
No.
But it was a place for people to live after first year.
If he owned that, he would have gotten into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't there like a second floor you could walk out?
Yeah. There was a little party area. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. So after the Doors, we all went back to that house because a bunch of our friends lived there and were drinking and all that. And a dude got up on that second and jumped right off, busted up his ankle.
Oh, that's awesome. Like when we lived there, that place was all pimped out. Like we had like a bar out there on the balcony, and then we had a foosball table. But we had some crazy fights. Or not fights, parties. I mean, there were fights, but we had crazy parties there. And we used to try to throw bottles across the 46 from the second floor.
Yeah, but here's why you could probably get away with that. When we went there, so every housing had a RA, you know, the resident advisor, which was a third-year student, right? So not only did the carriage house have a resident advisor, or not the carriage house, but the mansion, Mike Chen basically lived in the basement. So you couldn't, dude, when we went there, you couldn't get away with shit.
I bet.
Mike would just come upstairs. And our figure drawing teacher, a guy named Ben Ruiz, stayed in the basement as well. And Ben wouldn't let you get away with anything either. So it was really pretty, like, we went to was it called Rockaway Mall? Yeah. Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
We went to Rockaway Mall. And when we went there, and this is one change I know from when we went to when you went. When I went to the Kubert school, there was 100 first year. This is I'm basically just referring to my first year because that was more the party year with the houses.
Mm-hmm.
So in my first year, there was 100 of us, and then between second and third year combined, there was probably 75. So there's like 175 students total.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not kidding. In my first year, out of the 175 students, there were maybe 3 girls total going to the school.
Yeah.
So a bunch of us, and in my first year class of 100, there was 2, and that was it. So a bunch of us made up flyers and put the mansion's address on it, and, you know, big party, you know, BYOB, and went to Rockaway Mall and was just walking around handing them out. So like all these people show up at the mansion to party, and Mike Chen just comes out to the front and he's like, nope, nothing's going on here. Everybody has to leave.
Oh my God.
Like, oh, dude, come on. You're killing us, man.
That's too funny.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See,
Mike
you missed out going to a regular college, Dennis?
Did you well, no, my stories are probably worse than that. So
yeah,
but those are stories for a different day. Matter of fact, when I got flipped, we also used to fight, and I got flipped onto the curb, and it went right down through my bone. So I've got a permanent lack of feeling in my leg down below.
Oh, that's not good.
Getting flipped. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. By the way, Johnny at Rando had posted, it said, Mike walks with a limp, Huddleston.
Oh, yeah. Does he walk with a limp?
I couldn't imagine if he broke his leg that bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. He didn't finish that year and I don't think he actually came back. He just went for just the first year.
Oh wow!
But I mean he did all right. I mean he was drawing Deadpool and Wolverine for a while, so I mean he did fine.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's awesome. So Patrick, usually I like to find out what comic book. Now I heard you say Transformers and G.I. Joe. What got you into comic books? Was it those guys? And who do you like to draw the most that's not your own creation?
Well, I mean, it's like at a certain age, I started to figure out that people were making these things. I mean, it was. I think it was probably like Michael Golden or Michael Zeck were one of the first guys that I really liked, just because they were drawing the G.I. Joe stuff that I was reading at the time. But then it's like I would find things like like Bill Sienkiewicz, what's it called? The New Mutants? Yeah, the New Mutant stuff kind of caught my attention because I thought it was cool, but I couldn't understand why. And that's when I started. I think when I saw Bill Sienkiewicz is when I started to realize that there was different guys making these things. Mm-hmm. Because I would be like, this doesn't look like this. Why is that? And that's when I was. I mean, I was probably only like 9 or 10, but I started to kind of register that there was like differences between things, and I started noticing names. So that's those were my first things that I really liked, and it kind of got me into it.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
It's pretty funny that when you look at what kids think about. I took my son to one of his first Comic-Cons, and don't ask me why. I'm an X-Men guy, but he became a Deadpool guy. He loved Deadpool as a young kid. And we went to a convention, and I walked up, and there was one of the artists for Deadpool. Well, and then he goes, "What do you mean artist?" And the guy goes, "Well, I draw them." And my son's like, "Don't you just hit a button on the computer and it prints out the stories?" And he's like, "No." He goes, "Son, it takes 13 of us to put a book together."
Yeah.
My whole sudden just blew up. Well, then he goes, "Well, let me introduce you one of the writers. Here's an inker. Here's the letterer." They were all there. So they all got together and they were fawning over my son because they're like, "Kid, here's what we have to do." And they were explaining this all to him. His eyes got big. That's when you realize a child just was exposed to reality and what a cool reality comic books is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He assumed everything was just a computer. They printed it out. Marvel hit a button and it printed out comics.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that brings up a good question. Do you work digital or traditional?
Well, I work traditional as much as I can.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I like to hear.
So like especially with a lot of the Johnny Phantasm stuff, I'll paint some covers. Because I like the idea of doing like a painted cover and then doing like the insides like yourself. Yeah. But so like the way that I've been working recently is I will draw something in the computer in Clip Studio, and then I print it out in Blue Line and then I ink it by hand.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. So I have that original to sell, but also there's just there's a certain like widths that are easier to see by eye by looking at the paper as opposed to zooming in. And I noticed that that's kind of a hard thing to do is like when you're working digitally, sometimes people will zoom in and they'll work on a part that's like not really that important, but they're zoomed in, so they're not really aware of what they're doing, and they zoom out, and then it's like one part will have a lot of detail and the other part don't. It's actually an interesting story. So with the last Johnny Phantasm project, we had Michael Golden do a piece for us.
Oh, now you got to show that while we're on the stream, because I've never seen that.
Oh, you haven't seen that? Okay.
No.
Well, he did it digitally, and I mean, it looks great. Okay, like I'm obviously it looks great because I paid for it. But I could tell that he's kind of just starting to get into using digital stuff. And the reason why is because like I could look at the file and I could see where he would zoom in and work on some stuff where he like spent a lot of time working on details, whereby in certain areas he didn't really add a lot of details because he was probably zoomed out and he didn't really notice the difference. Like you know what I'm referring to?
Yeah.
So it's like his face. I'm trying to find a good example of it before I bring it up. Like his face will have a lot of detail, and like here I'll bring this up and show it to you. His face will have a lot of detail, but and his gun belt does, but like his hands don't, and his gun doesn't, which is kind of weird. And again, it's only something that you could probably notice if you zoomed in with Photoshop.
Yeah, let me pull that up. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to zoom in on it. Let me just try and full screen, see if I can see.
Yeah, I can zoom in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just funny. I mean, and again, it's a classic Michael Golden layout. You know what I'm saying? Like the shooting at the camera and the blast, but it looks kind of like animated. So you see, like, look how detailed like the face gets. Like right here, there's a lot of stuff happening, but you can't find out what it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You could tell that he just went ham with being able to zoom in and like put all the details, you know. And it's and that's when you're working digital, like see the stitching on the gun.
Oh yeah.
On the strap. That might even be a photo that he photo batched. But it's just, you know, it's like when you're first starting to work digitally, sometimes things like that kind of get past the radar a little bit, and you have to kind of learn how to know your different widths that you use is what I'm trying to say. So when I print it out by hand and I ink it, it's like I know that distance from my face to the paper and how thick a line is supposed to be.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I draw everything on, digitally, and then except I use Sketchbook Pro. I like the way the pencil feels in that program better. And then I just take it into Photoshop. So I have to do a couple steps because you probably don't have to do this using All Clip Studio. I take it into Photoshop, convert it to the blue. Well, hello, North Free, and then print it out in blue, and start tightening it up in pencil, then ink it. So I hear you. Since you got that up, if you want to show some Ultra Star stuff.
Yeah, I brought up some things to kind of show off a little bit. So
yeah, definitely.
Let's see, what will I show first? I will show. I'll kind of just go over some of the character designs, some of the characters.
Yeah. So
this is Ultra Star, and basically Ultra Star. Well, actually, we'll show off with the showstopper.
There you go.
This is a cover by Kenneth Rocaford.
Oh, nice.
who everyone's familiar with. Just did that Bane suit piece for John Malin and Graveyard Shift 3 Bane suit edition. Yep. But I let Kenneth read Ultra Star, and he thought it was really good. And he was like, if you decide to do this again, and he offered to do the cover. So I was like, what? Nice. You just inspired me to do this again. So it's a funny story. Is I actually drew 32 pages of this for IDW.
Really?
Yeah. So I was talking with the editor over there that I've been talking with for a very long time, and he hit me up a couple years ago, and he was like, "Hey, he's like, do you still have that Ultra Star idea?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I'm over at IDW now. Maybe we could bring it over here." So I was like, "Okay." So I started working on it. But then I started working on Johnny Phantasm with my buddy Evan, and kind of shelved it for a little while. And then, recently, when I decided I was going to quit teaching, I was like, I want to do another book. And I was like, I forgot I had this Ultra Star book that was just been sitting here. The guy who I was talking to at IDW, he actually got canned. Oh, so it's like, it was just in limbo. So I was just like, I have 32 pages drawn already. All I have to do is get it inked and get it colored. The story's already done. Let's just do this. So, I talked to Kenneth. He was able to flesh out a cover for me, and it came out really well. And then I went back and did this is actually a redo of a piece that was in the original Ultra Star, but I kind of just redrew everything from scratch, re-inked it up. And this is kind of my shot of the team. Now, Ultra Star was kind of like my version of like Justice League or Avengers or something of that nature.
Oh, cool.
I've always been like fascinated with Shazam, or not so much Superman, but more like kind of like Mr. Majestic is another one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
I kind of like the B Superman team. You know what I'm saying? I've always been kind of fascinated with with those guys. So this is kind of like my version of a Superman or Captain America or Justice League or Avengers or Watchmen type story.
Cool.
So yeah, here's a promotional piece. This will be part of the story as well. And then here's a couple of the pages.
Oh, nice.
And I'm trying to make this a very like compared to my Johnny Phantasm, which is more kind of like gangster, Will Eisner, Sin City type style. I'm trying to go more of like just classic superhero comic book style with Ultrastar, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it totally does.
Sure. Yeah, Brad's asking a question. It says, "Is Ultrastar the beginning of another ongoing series, Patrick?" Yeah.
So there's gonna be 3 acts in Ultrastar, and it might be broken up into 4 parts. I'm gonna see if I can do it in 3, but it might end up being 4 parts. So it's going to be, this is going to be a complete story in itself, but there's going to be 3 acts. It might be 3 or 4 individual books.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing with First Man, is the one that's going to be fulfilling now, and then there's a second one, and then a third one to kind of like a trilogy, basically.
Yeah. Well, it's easier just to kind of break them down and just into the acts.
See, you started something with the action figures. Going to do some more, a little Ultrastar maybe?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so what's awesome about the action figure is so far everything else has gone really well with it. They're being produced right now, and they should be over here very shortly. It was actually a really painless and so far easy process.
Good.
Yeah. So and everyone responded very well to the toys. It was a gamble because we bought them beforehand. It wasn't like we got the money and then we pre-ordered it and we ordered them. Like we ordered we ordered 550 like just right off the bat.
Cool. So were they off of a figure sculpt that was like already done, not like a custom one? You know what I mean?
So some of the parts of Johnny share a sculpt with this toy called Mofo. And what happened with that was the guy who originally sculpted Johnny Phantasm, who I have right here, I can show him off since people know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
like the original guy who sculpted Johnny Phantasm is actually the guy who sculpted Cara Dune.
Oh really?
Yeah, and he was actually a student of mine over at Ringling.
Oh, nice.
And he sculpted, he sculpted the whole body, but here it's just the head, the hat, the necklace, the gun strap, and the torso are the parts that he made.
Right.
This company that we ended up teaming up with, I brought the mold to them, and they were like, we just so happen to have a guy that's like in a suit that looks just like your guy, his arms and his legs, Oh, nice. And they're like, they're like, we already have the mold done. It would save you like $10,000 if you just used that. And we were like, well, let's just do that then.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then here you can see this guy right here, who is a henchman, who we're working on getting these made. You can tell that he has the same arms and legs and stuff.
Now, did your sculptor guy, did he sculpt it digitally in ZBrush or?
Yep, ZBrush. And then he just sent me the file. But yeah, he's worked on everything from Cara Dune to My Little Pony to G.I. Joe. He's worked on a bunch of stuff for Hasbro.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, like we're definitely gonna be doing some Ultrastar action figures eventually, and some other characters from Johnny Phantasm as well, and we're doing new colors and all that stuff as well. So yeah, we're just gonna do as much stuff as we can,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Do you like to work? I'm just curious, looking at your background and other live streams we've been on together. Do you like to work with less lighting or more?
Well, it depends on what I'm doing.
Not on this right now. You're just in your studio drawing. Is it like desk lamp and that's it, Or
Well, this is my usual working atmosphere, unless I'm cutting something at the table over here. Then I have my light where I turn on over there.
yeah,
My light box is back there as well. So when I'm chasing something, I go back there. But it's usually pretty dark in here for the most part.
yeah, yeah. So I know you do you talk toys a lot and stuff on some of your streams. What do you have like favorites?
Well, I mean, this is not going to be a surprise to you guys at all. I mean, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Voltron, Mask,
yeah.
He-Man, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah. Do you have the original 1983?
Yeah. I actually over my shoulder.
Damn you.
So
do I, but I'm missing. This is the one I bought when it came out, 1983. But I'm missing his shield and sword.
Oh, right on.
But I lost him at some point because this is 37 years old. So
if you look at my back speaker behind, I'm trying to my cat hit a button, but these right here, these are all OG He-Man up there.
Are they really? Wow.
83, 84, and then I have the original He-Man battle armor, and then the original Skeletor, the South American Skeletor down here in a case that's down here down below. Now, like, I'm not sure if you noticed about He-Man, but the first year that He-Man was made, it was made in South America.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so it's weird. Like in the 80s, not everything was made in Japan and China. Like we still made stuff in this hemisphere, and down in South America as well. But yeah, like so if you ever see a Skeletor that has like a half blue boot, like it's blue on the front half of his boot and it's light blue on the back half, that's the first Skeletor. It's called the South American Skeletor, but that's like the first run of them or whatever.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then also if you find like a man in arms with 2 red dots on his head, that's also a South American man in arms.
Really? A buddy of ours, man, I wish you lived closer, because a buddy of ours about an hour from here just opened up a toy/comic shop, but it's definitely he's definitely more into the toys.
He's a toy guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's a big toy guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he goes to conventions and stuff too, but the store is just like phenomenal.
Yeah. So I heard you say Voltron.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the Lions Voltron guy or the spaceship Voltron guy?
Well, you're saying spaceships, but I assume you mean vehicle Voltron.
It is. Yeah, I did mean vehicle.
No, yeah. Well, like vehicle Voltron is actually is the one I prefer. And the sticker pack. Oh, it's not in here. Of course, it's not. In the sticker pack that we have, let's see if I got a sticker of it. Maybe in this one. So with the Johnny Phantasm 1985, there was a sticker pack that you could get, and I don't have a picture of one, but in one sticker pack you got oh, there it is. So in one sticker pack you got the vehicle Voltron head.
Yep.
And then in the other one you get the cat Voltron head.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be honest. I only know of the cat Voltron.
Oh, really?
I don't think I've ever seen. Maybe I have, but
no. The
I think Voltron, I think the cat.
Well, so the cat Voltron is actually called Voltron 3. This guy is Voltron 1 right here, and then Voltron 2 is actually 3 robots that form one big robot. But yeah, like vehicle Voltron is awesome because it takes 15 pieces for him to turn into the robot, where the cat was only 5 pieces.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, vehicle Voltron is my jam.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
just because almost everybody I know, they're only into the Lions, and they're like, what do you mean vehicles, ships? They're wearing them like how there were. So I grew up with Shogun Warriors. know, it was Robotech Star Blazers at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then you had the very first Voltron I watched was the vehicles.
There's a Robotech guy.
Oh yeah, look at that! Love it. Love it. Veritech fan here. SDF1, love that stuff. Yeah.
Hey, so
but most everybody's only in the Lions. That's why that's just awesome to hear.
So Ryan Blue Thunder wants to know, have you seen the Mezco 112 scale Destro?
Yeah.
I believe I wouldn't be surprised if our buddy has that. I'm sure he does.
I bet Tracy's got it in his shop. Yeah.
I'm sure he does. Yeah, this guy deals with high-end stuff, and so it's not just, it's definitely stuff you won't find at Target.
Well, I mean,
North Three's asking how much it is.
even the stuff that you find at Target isn't at Target, and I talk about that on my channel all the time, because like since Toys R Us has gone away, they've had to split up their what's it called, their exclusives. So I mean, people are getting in fucking fights at Target right now over certain figures over here. Like I have a figure that's behind me. It's a Cobra Viper, and I had to drive like 2 hours to go to Target to be there at 7:30 in the morning so I can get them.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Did you call in advance to make sure that
I called in advance, and they said they were going to put them out overnight, so it'd be there first thing in the morning. But yeah, it's like Target doesn't know how to handle exclusives, and Hasbro doesn't know how to handle G.I. Joe right now. Like it's crazy. So I actually want to make a video about this. But so G.I. Joe right now, the toy line, there's no movie. There's no comic book. There's no cartoon to promote it at all. It's relying on just pure nostalgia, right?
Wait, I thought IDW put out a G.I. Joe book.
Well, but it has nothing to do with the toys.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
It has nothing to do with the toys. And the toys, you can't keep them on the shelf because people's imagination of what they remember G.I. Joe is enough to sell it on. And this has been my problem with IDW, those fucking morons over there, because all they have to do is just do nostalgia and they would be selling out, but they're not. It's like they're making stupid characters, they're making stupid story decisions. They're letting Larry Hannah, continue to write it when he's just he was good back in the 80s, but I mean he's kind of stale, it's like like what has Larry Hannah done lately,
Right.
And it's just crazy because this Target can't keep these toys in, Walmart can't keep, they're in Walgreens, you can't find them in Walgreens, but yet they have trouble selling comic books, and I don't understand, and it's because they're injecting new ideas, they're not just relying on nostalgia. But yeah, like right now, like it's hard to find the action figures at Target.
I love this. North Free, I would love to have a First Man figure. So, I'll have to talk behind the scenes about Patrick, about his sculptor guy and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can start off with a sculpt, or you can find a company that has like a blank body, like what you were talking about.
Right.
And then you can kind of just buy their body sculpt and then maybe just get certain pieces made for your guy, There's many different ways to do it now,
Yeah, I'll have to talk to you because I'm clueless when it comes to that stuff.
Well, I mean, I had to do a crash course in it. Like I knew a little bit about toys, but since I started getting into making them, like I was unaware of this. Like in China, what when you go to a part in town and it's like in that part of town, that's where all the car dealerships are.
Yeah.
Well, like in China, that's how the toy factories are. Like when you go to a certain part of town, all they make are like robots and Transformers and Voltron stuff. That's all they make. But then you go to another part of town, all they make are like the Kenner style figures. It's just like everyone in that area in that 10 block radius will make the same type of action figure. And then if you go, the next town over, that whole town will make like 6-inch Legend styles figures. It's
another buddy of ours that lives in town is a big toy collector. And Dennis can back this up. I went to his place. He lives in a 3-bedroom place. 1 bedroom's his bedroom. 1 bedroom is his stash of stuff he doesn't want to sell, but it's just shelves. And it's like I got one of the oh god, I'm blanking on the name of it, and it's out of arm's reach. It's one of the posable 12-inch real lifelike looking
Action
figures.
Man. He's got a whole ton of Action Man.
but he'll be like, oh wait, because I bought the figure off him for for posing reference every now and then and stuff, and it's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger body, basically. And he's like, wait, let me look through my heads. I'm sure I got a head that can go with that. He's just, the heads are everywhere. But then you walk into the third bedroom, and he's got pegboards on the walls.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff is hanging off pegboards. It's all shit that he just wants to get rid of sooner or later. And I'm like, oh my God, you've got like a mini freaking store.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean, that's what if you look at my house, that's what my house looks like up here. See all the.
Yeah, well, I remember you posting some photos. I think it was on Twitter.
And then I have over here. I have a case right next to me, and then I have 2 cases behind me. Then I have.
Yeah.
I got them, and then over here, all on the shelf, I got them all up there.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually like the wife actually said that we got to tighten it up a little bit. You know, we got to bring in the reins a little bit. I kind of was gonna push it to see how far I could go, and then she, I got the tap. It's like,
That's right.
You're good.
Yeah.
It was that guy that did it.
So is she into this type of stuff at all? Like my wife has no, she'll come up here and be like, why do you need all this space? And I'm like, what are you talking
well, no,
about?
there's definitely some of that, but she appreciates it. Like I met her at I was doing an art show, and she ran the art gallery that I was doing an art show.
Oh, that's cool.
So she's in the art, and like she works at a tattoo shop, so she's into art and tattoos and stuff like that. So it's pretty good.
Does she do the tattooing or no?
No, she just gets them a whole lot.
Okay.
She's covered. She has more than I have.
Right, but does she do it at the shop?
Oh, no. She like manages the shop, and then she runs the art gallery.
Oh, cool. One of my buddies and
Jay Lee said, Andy, I still have my Matchbox 84 SDF1. Oh my God, that is awesome.
That is pretty cool.
That is. I don't have any of my Robotech stuff.
A buddy of mine I went to the Kubert school with, and I'm blanking on his name because it's been 30 years. And honestly, after graduation, he was one of the guys I haven't stayed in touch with. But he became a really, I guess, famous tattoo artist. And he's out in last I heard, he was out in San Diego, and he opened up a store, and he's really sought after. And I just can't remember his name. He's been in magazines and stuff, I guess.
That's cool.
So
yeah, well, I mean, like tattooing and comic book illustration are pretty close. There's a lot of blacks. Like to make a good tattoo, you have to have a lot of blacks to make it pop.
Right.
So that's where comics and tattoos kind of they share that in common a lot.
So have you designed any of yours or your wife's?
Yeah, I've designed a couple of mine. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I have a Ravage here that I designed, and I got some stuff on here like that I've designed. I don't think I've drawn anything on her. No. Well, it's funny. Like with some of these stickers I was showing you with this with the Voltron heads, I was actually a year or so back when I was kind of like in limbo. I wasn't sure what I was doing. I was actually kind of learning how to tattoo there for a minute, and those Voltron heads were actually pieces of Flash. So that Voltron head was actually designed to be a tattoo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's it's hard to tell, but it was actually done in color pencil.
Oh wow,
cool. That's cool. I've only designed a couple. I worked at a radio station for a while, and a program director asked me to design one for him and his wife, so I did. I don't know if she ever got it. I know he did because I saw it. And then I designed one for a buddy of mine in town, and it was really cool. It was just basically this really big, ripped dude with big wings coming off his back. He was standing in like 3/4, so the wings were going off behind him. And he only had eyes and, no face. And he was going to put it on his pec, but he chickened out. So.
Hey, hold on 1 second. I have to move this cat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go.
See, my kid. Oh, he doesn't have his. Gotta wait for the headphones.
They know when I'm doing something important.
My cat does not. Well, he can't come up here. Let's see. Hold on. Next paycheck. Picked up first, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, my cat's not allowed up here for 2 reasons. One, he's an indoor only cat. and my office isn't connected to the house. It's in our garage. It's above the garage, but the garage isn't connected. And he is so scared of the outside that if you're holding him and you walk towards an outside door, because he knows the difference, he'll just start scratching and be like, "Get me out of here!" So, well, I actually, is your cat indoor only or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so ours is indoor only. It was probably it was probably 5 or 6 years ago. He got out, and I didn't realize it. My wife and daughter weren't home, thank God, because they would have freaked out. But I heard meowing, and I'm like, where the hell is that coming from? I went to the back door, and he was sitting at the back door, just looking up at it through the glass, just like terrified, like, get me inside. I don't know what the hell you think I'm doing. So it was pretty funny. Let's see. What do you think is your best comic work?
Oh, definitely the stuff I'm doing now. I mean, I'm firing on all cylinders. I've had a lot of built up comic book stuff in me that I haven't been able to kind of let loose. Again, just doing D&D and Wizards of the Coast type stuff, and children's book illustrations, and especially being a teacher, it's like you get a lot of built up ideas in your head. So right now it's like everything is coming out like great. Like I think Johnny Phantasm 1985. I mean, it's my best work. It's my best work.
I hear you.
I've got a page right here. I'll show you. So I'll find this page, like this double page spread right here.
Oh, that's nice.
That's planning right there.
That is, yeah, dude. No, that's really nice.
That doesn't happen. But
no,
I mean,
that's cool.
so yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here where I'm just going for it,
Oh yeah. Now, is that printed on the newsprint type stuff you were talking about?
It is. Doesn't it look good?
Yeah, it looks real good. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
That looks real good.
I mean, even to the panel that's like the very bottom, it's like just like some of the ideas that are coming out right now. I'm very happy with everything. But yeah, like this paper looks really good. I'm excited that these guys are local too. I mean, even the kind of like not lame pages, but kind of in between pages.
I know what you're talking about.
They came out really good. And then we have an ad here for the new story right here.
Yeah.
That's actually, cool. I don't want to show that. I don't want to spoil anything.
There you go.
But what's fun about this is actually inked by Art Thiebart.
Oh, is it? Very nice. You got big art to do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing Extreme 93, so I wanted to have kind of an Extreme Studio type of feel. So
I hope you don't call. By the way, I hope you don't call him Thiebart because it's Taber and he'll kill you.
Does he?
It's Art Taber.
Taber. Okay. I hear Thiebart. Yeah. I just call him old guy Art. Familiar.
That's what Dennis did one time, and I'm like, no, dude. No.
I did. I got slapped down.
Like,
so, what was the purpose of going with newsprint? What were you trying to get out of that?
So the first time that we did like when we first started doing Johnny Phantasm, it was 12-page like mini comics. And we released one at New York Comic Con, then we released one at MegaCon, then one at New York Comic Con, then MegaCon, then New York Comic Con again. And we were going to do 5 of them. And when we were done with the third one, like the third 12-pager, that's around the time that was like summer of 2018. And that's kind of when I was, I friended John Malin on Facebook after I heard about like what happened with him over there at Marvel. I was I was having a similar thing happen to me, but with teaching. I was running into a lot of problems with a lot of SJWs on the college level. So, I was seeing it differently than they were. But I was also, well, I mean, this is kind of like a little bit of a sidetrack, but I was supposed to start doing work for DC, and I signed well, it wasn't a contract, but it was like I filled out all my direct deposit information.
Oh yeah.
And they had all my tax information, and I was supposed to start I did all these thumbnails for Action Comics, and an editor that I was working with over at Archie, he went over to DC, and he and I were supposed to do some stuff over there, and on the Facebook he saw that I voted for Trump, And I never heard from him again. Like, he avoided me, even at conventions. Like, he would just avoid my table. I tried to get in touch with him, but like, he was like gun ho. Like, I was gonna be doing covers for Action Comics, and I was very excited about the whole thing. And then this is like 2016. He disappeared. I never heard from him again. I tried to get in touch with him. And then that's when I started to kind of piece things together. And then that's when I stumbled onto John Maylin's story. And then, I was starting to get into Comics Artist Pro Secrets. And then that was around 2018. And then that's when we started, to do the crowdfunding thing. We did it. I'm getting back to the newsprint thing. I forgot what the question is. We printed the 5 mini comics and a thin graphic novel that was like 64 pages. And I did that as a test because I wanted to find out just how this whole crowdfunded thing worked. I didn't have any delusions of having like a $100,000 campaign or a $3 million campaign or anything like that. I just wanted to try to see if I could do it, and I did it. And it took me a while to fulfill the packages and learn how PayPal works, or not PayPal, but the PayPal shipping system works. And I after I did it, I had more people asking me, like they heard good things about it and they wanted to pick up the book again. So what I decided to do was I ordered some books from Peter at Alterna Comics, and I actually liked the newsprint feel. So, I got in touch with him and I was like, hey, I'm going to re-put out this Johnny Phantasm thing that I just did, but people were still asking about it. So I added some more pages. Then that's how I got into the newsprint. And then it kind of turned into kind of like a period piece where, the first book was 1977 and then 1985. So in theory, those books would have been on newsprint. Now that we're doing 93 is the next one, that's going to be like on glossy paper. And then when we do 2001, it's going to be a trade. So it's like we're turning them into kind of like period pieces that kind of go with the feel.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's my excuse anyway.
No, that's good reasoning. And I remember when I first saw Peter's books. And I was like, oh, newsprint. Wow, well, yeah. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Well, yeah, what's crazy is that, like, I'm not sure what happened. Someone has explained to me like what the situation was, but something happened where a lot of printing companies were given grants where they were able to upgrade their printing, like web press printing machines. So especially in Florida, there was a lot of improvements in web press printing where like you said when you were looking at that book, even though it's through the camera, you could tell that it's decent colors. Like web press printing has come like miles and miles from where it was before. It's like so different now. Yeah, well, I mean, that's how I feel now.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I missed out. Like, I wanted to work on something fun like that, like Superman, but I'm more than happy doing Ultra Star and Johnny Phantasm. But yeah, again, like with the newsprint, it's kind of like a nostalgia thing. It's something that I want to experience my artwork being on myself. Right. Because when I was younger, everything was on newsprint. The feel, everything had a certain type of feel to it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, that's what I remember and stuff. That's why I do that fake, that parody ad in my book, but it's obviously not on newsprint, but I have a newsprint texture I put behind it and color it flat. So it totally looks like
I like seeing that too. I see people do that too.
Yeah. So I totally love that stuff. Well, cool. You want to get one last plug in before we wrap it?
Well, yeah. Let me just share the sign up page real quick.
Yeah.
So what we're doing with the Johnny Phantasm, or not the Ultra Star, is now normally we would offer like a free trading card or something of the sort. Mm-hmm. This time around, we're just offering a little bit of money off. So for example, it's like if you want to save $5 or $10 on your order, you can kind of think of that as like free shipping,
Right.
So if you sign up early, depending on what type of perk you get, you can save anywhere from $5 to $10. again, and you can kind of think of that as this, free shipping.
Cool.
But our slogan is, DC has Superman, Marvel has Captain America. We, CG, we have Ultrastar.
There you go.
This is kind of our alternative to Superman.
That's cool.
Oh, great. My cat is just driving me crazy right now. And then he's like, I'm going to throw up right now.
Oh, no way. Is he making the noise?
Yeah, he was like, right now, we're going to do this.
Oh, no.
So I guess that's what he feels about Ultrastar, but that doesn't mean that's how you have to feel about Ultrastar.
That's right. Johnny Rando, where are my Detroit Skeleton Pimp books, Patrick?
They should be en route. I mean, in just 3 days, I went through a fourth or a fifth of them. So, I mean, I think within 2 weeks, everyone's going to have them, even international people. So everyone should be getting them very, very soon.
Awesome. Well, everyone, go definitely sign up at Indiegogo for Ultrastar Project Superman. I already have. So now it's your guys' turn to do that. So do the sign up. And Pat, man, it was great hanging out and stuff.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. We don't have a huge channel. We're trying to grow it. So
well, I just like hanging out.
Yeah, no, I love talking shop and stuff. And I know Dennis does. And if you ever have comic appraising questions, Dennis is the expert. So you seem to be more of the toy guy, though. So.
Well, I mean, I have key issues, I collect key issues. Like all my key issues are all Transformers and G.I. Joes.
Oh, true. Yeah, I think the one G.I. Joe I have, I've got two. I've got the first silent issue from the 80s, number 21. And then I got the one that same issue number that Image put out that Mike Zeck did as well. That's a silent issue.
And that's actually like one of the next things on my list is maybe for Ultrastar or maybe for Johnny Phantasm. I'm gonna have a silent little mini comic issue that I'm gonna put along with it.
As long as you don't do an Alpha Flight snow scene like John Byrne did, you're good.
No, I won't do
you
that.
know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Then I'll want my money back. I don't mind silent with pictures, but if you're giving me no pictures and word balloons,
white pages,
it's a snowstorm. I got an issue. All right, guys, everyone, thank you for joining us. We will be back on Wednesday night to talk about Superman Lois episode 5, I think.
Already at 5, huh? Is it okay? I saw the first one.
It's really good.
It gets a little better each week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah. They're stepping up.
Unlike Flash, which is doing that, and Batwoman, which already went that way.
And Supergirl, which is doing that.
This one's getting a little bit better. And we got a couple of comic reviews that we're doing. We both read the Bequest. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Spidey's new suit and if we like it or not. And
what, the blue and yellow one?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's hot garbage. It's like it's like the blue and the yellow push that character back. You can't even see it in like a city scene.
Right. Yeah, it's not a color combo I would have gone with at all. We touched on it briefly in another show, but basically it's like if your key colors are blue and red, you can pretty much do anything design-wise you want as long as you keep the core colors because people will recognize it,
Yeah.
But when you go totally to the other side, you're just kind of like, what?
Yeah.
So, all right, there he goes. Look at that. No, as long as it doesn't go woke.
You go broke.
That's right.
The way it is.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We will see you guys Wednesday night at 7:00. So until then, bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining.
Nice meeting you.